U.S. college football player accused of raping another student has turned himself in, but the woman accusing him says she's angry over the way authorities and the school have handled the case.
Prosecutors charged Alan Artis with sexual battery and assault, both misdemeanors, 7 months after the alleged attack. The woman says Artis pinned her down and raped her at an apartment on the University of North Carolina's campus. The district attorney says a felony investigation is underway. Artis has not responded to the allegations.
Well, Ambrosio Rodriguez is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. He also led a sexual assault and child abuse unit at the Riverside County District Attorney's Office right here in Southern California. Mr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for joining us. Delaney Robinson's alleged assault took place back in February, and yet here we are in September, and the District Attorney's Office says the lab results are pending and the investigation is still ongoing. Does that timeline match your knowledge of investigations into allegations of rape on college campuses?
No, not necessarily. Look, these kind of cases are extremely difficult to prosecute, simply because you have a he said, she said situation in which his version of events, and especially given the fact that he is innocent until proven guilty, make it very difficult for the district attorney's office to prosecute these kind of cases. As far as the fact that the toxicology report has taken so long, seems hard to believe. These reports or these lab results usually take about 30 days to get back to the investigating agencies as to whether or not the level of alcohol involved that's in a person's bloodstream.
There are many aspects of this case that are troubling, including the way Delaney Robinson says she was treated during the investigation. She says she was asked, quote, humiliating and accusatory questions by the investigators, including what she was wearing, did she lead him on, and had they hooked up before. Meanwhile, she says the interviews with her alleged attacker took a completely different tone. She says they told him, don't sweat it, just keep on living your life and playing football. All of which paints the picture of rape not being taken seriously. I mean, what's your experience when you've encountered school officials under these circumstances?
Well, right, I think that half of and I watched her press conference, I think half of the questions that were asked by the police were appropriate. That is, did she know him, how much she had to drink, whether or not they had any kind of sexual relationships before this alleged incident. The other questions were not appropriate at all. As to the way he was questioned, whether or not the police were trying to build a rapport to try to get him to kind of good cop him into making statements that could be used against him, that could have been part of it as well. I think the bigger problem in this case, like we see in all of these university sexual assault cases, is the competence of the police agencies that patrol these universities. The fact of the matter is, no one who goes into the police academy has their dream to work as a police officer at a university. They have bigger dreams. The top police departments get the best recruits. The best recruits end up becoming detectives. And being a detective in a sexual assault unit like Los Angeles, on any major metropolitan area, you have to be the best of the best because of how complicated these cases are and how difficult they are to prove. And I don't think you have that in most universities. I don't care how elite the university is, you're not going to attract that kind of police officer to work for you.
So in the absence of criminal charges, Delaney Robinson took advantage of North Carolina law and she filed 2 self-sworn civil warrants against her alleged attacker for misdemeanor assault on a female and misdemeanor sexual battery, which a magistrate issued. What are her chances in court?
Well, I mean, I see this more as a political statement than really a criminal case. The standard of proof, either in a felony or a misdemeanor, is the same. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. And she would still rely on the district attorney's office to prosecute this case and take it to jury. This is a very difficult case to prove. That's why the district attorney's office didn't file it. All she has from what we see in her press conference is her word, and we have a report from a nurse practitioner.
And we have pictures. We have pictures as well.
Right, but a picture doesn't really mean anything unless it can be given the proper context. And right now it just says that she has a bruise and that's it. There's no DNA, there's no touch DNA. We have no evidence, and I think we would have known by now whether or not there's even any evidence that they had sexual intercourse vis-a-vis DNA evidence, right? Because a sexual assault exam, they do vaginal swabs and genital swabs in order to see whether DNA has been left behind. And that kind of DNA is very telling in a situation like this.
Well, Ambrosio Rodriguez, we really appreciate you coming on and giving us some expert insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And